Welcome back here to Harry Lang Stadium, where it's time to wrap this one up with the Aldersons Awards West postgame show for trophies, awards, T-shirts, and so much more. Go to aldersons.net and check out their full catalog. Matthew King alongside Tony Davila and Paul Beatty. Final score, the Steilacoom Sentinels stay perfect on the season with a 34-12 victory over the Clover Park Timberwolves. Quick scoring summary of this one. Steilacoom got the scoring started in the first half on a short touchdown run by Noah Maxwell. They would also get the second touchdown also on a longer scoring run by Noah Maxwell, making it 14-0. Clover Park would have a nice long drive themselves, marching down the field, a couple of big fourth down conversions. Rayson Marcel Jonas finds the end zone on 4th and goal from the 1. That would get Clover Park on the board 14-6. The ensuing kickoff, though, run back for a touchdown by, you guessed it, Noah Maxwell. That would immediately open the lead back up to 2 possessions, 21-6. A stop forced by the Steilacoom defense, and then they hit the home run, 75-yard touchdown pass from Titus Kaeka. He finds his man, Jaleo Johnson, for the score, made it 28-6. Teams traded interceptions late in the first half. That would be the score going into halftime. We'd have a scoreless third quarter. Clover Park had a long, time-consuming drive, took 8 minutes off the clock. However, they end up fumbling the ball. Bo Weaver recovers. They'd force a turnover on downs. Teams would play hot potato with the ball. Steilacoom ends up getting a 2-yard touchdown run by Justin Chang. An interception by Bo Weaver looked like it would put this game away for the Sentinels. However, Andre Williams, a pick 6 for Clover Park to give them one last score. 34-12 would be the score then, and that is our final. Paul, for Steilacoom, strong showing. They showed that they can really mix it up on offense, run, pass, whatever they need. Defense played well. It was a really impressive performance tonight from Steilacoom.
It was. They came out. They found where they could attack early. They took advantage of that, and ran the ball, passed the ball. They did what they needed to do there, and then special teams, the big kickoff return. That was a backbreaker because as soon as Clover Park scored their first half touchdown, that brought them to a one-score game. It was 14-6. One play later, you're back to a 2-score game, and that's just really hard to recover from. So they did what they needed to do here. I think they have some things to clean up. They want to they want that passing game to be a little more sharp than I think, especially in the first half, than it was. They really relied on the running, which they probably do anyway. But their passing game can be better, and they'll want to clean that up. Now, for Clover Park, they have a lot of positives that they can take out of this as well. First of all, they never gave up. They had 2. They didn't have just one long drive. They had 3 really long drives. The first one, didn't end in a score, but they ended up punting it away. I can't remember how many plays was that. You just gave that to me. Their first one, 7, 8, 9, 9-play drive, and then they came back with a 13-play drive that they scored on, and then the one that they started with was another 12 or 13 plays. So those are tough to do. Those are tough. And they didn't help themselves. In those drives, there were several penalties that they were called on, and they've just got to stop doing that and hurting themselves. But I think there's a lot of positives that come out. I loved how balanced the offense was, the run to pass and things like that. You can nitpick at some things, and I have personal favorites of things that I like to do, but in the end, it was a really well-balanced attack offensively. The defense came up with a big play late in the game, and so I think there's a lot of good things that came out on the Clover Park side.
Building blocks for the Timberwolves.
Yep.
The time's kind of now for Steilacoom, although junior-heavy core, they have got a couple of years. Tony, do you have final numbers for us?
That I do. Let's go with Clover Park first. Scott ends up 7 of 19 passing, 2 interceptions, and 99 yards. Only had 1 completion in the second half for 1 yard. Running the ball, though, it was Jonas, 18 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown for him. Scott had 9 carries for 67 yards, and Charles had 3 carries for 4 yards, and then he had that fumble lost. 129 yards on the ground. or on the ground, 99 through the air. Charles caught the one pass in the second half for 1 yard. Boykin was the leading receiver, 2 catches for 54 yards for him. 228 yards of offense in this one. You got the pick 6 by Williams in the second half as well to give them some yardage and some points for the Timberwolves of Clover Park. Now on to the Sentinels. Kaeka, 11 of 17 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 264 yards. Ogilvy was 0 for 1 on his passing attempt through that pick 6, that 1 interception. That was the only completion that he had. Unfortunately, it was to the wrong team. Receiving-wise, Johnson, he had 5 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Freeland had 1 catch for 33. Petrillo had 2 catches for 32. Shaw had 2 catches for 56, and Maxwell had the 1 catch for -7. But he did have an interception and that 89-yard kickoff return for the touchdown. Weaver in the second half had an interception and a fumble recovery. 137 yards on the ground, 264 through the air for 401 yards of offense in this game for Steilacoom.
Electric performance for the Sentinel offense. Time for the Holiday Inn Express MVP of the Game Award, brought to you by your on-the-road team headquarters, the Sumner Holiday Inn. Stay where the winners stay, the Sumner Holiday Inn Express. We always like to talk about the players on the losing team that had a nice performance. Jonas was a monster out of the backfield for Clover Park. It would have been impossible to go anywhere away from him, running a lot harder than what he's listed size-wise.
Yeah, I know. But Marshall Scott, I mean, his throwing the ball first of all, but the runs he made on that touchdown drive were incredible.
However, we always give the MVP to the winning team, and for the Steilacoom Sentinels, I think it's going to have to be Noah Maxwell tonight. 3 touchdowns. He had the big kickoff return for a touchdown to immediately respond. Also had an interception to kill a Clover Park drive. Didn't see too much from him in the second half due to a cramping issue, it looked like, but he really balled out for the Sentinels tonight.
Yeah, the other one to put out there would be Chang. He had the 9 carries, all of them in the second half, 64 yards, and the touchdown, and he was the kicker, and he was a D-end, so his name was out there a lot as well. He had a really good game, and you got to throw Weaver in there as well on the defensive end. He had that interception and that fumble recovery.
I love Xander Shaw's game tonight. I thought he was huge. And I'm going to give a shout-out to the offensive line, especially Trayvon Marble. He was outstanding tonight with some downfield blocking as well. So
we just named about 4 different players
Yeah.
for the MVP.
No,
It's going to be Noah Maxwell is the official one. I just want to make sure that's clear for our audience. Congratulations to Maxwell and the Steilacoom Sentinels moving on to 4-0. They will be back in action next Friday. Staying on the road, they will visit Ording at 7 p.m. Clover Park. They will be right back here on Thursday, 1 week from tonight. They will host Fife at 7 p.m. Again, we'll have 6 games on our air tomorrow. You can see the entire broadcast schedule on the website, elisportsnetwork.com. Maybe 6 games tomorrow.
Yeah, we just got word that maybe we're only going to have 5.
We might have to scramble. We'll see what we can do. But check out the broadcast schedule, elisportsnetwork.com, nonetheless, on the website. And we'll also have the recap of this game up at some time tomorrow. For my partners, Tony Davila and Paul Beatty, I am Matthew King. That'll do it for this edition of High School Football on the Eli and NFHS Sports Networks. Final score, it's the Steilacoom Sentinels staying perfect with a 34-12 victory over the Clover Park Timberwolves. We'll see you down the road for more high school sports right back here on the Eli Sports Network. Have a great rest of your night.